Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Here in this video, we are going to be going over everything you need to know in regards to AMC stock today and what's going to be coming in our markets tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow you are going to have a couple different events. It's really tomorrow in after hours that is kind of the big event for our markets and for a select specific sector of our market. And I'll break down exactly why that is important and why I'm paying very close attention to it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. This is actually something specifically I've been talking about for a while now that could be a big catalyst for our markets. So first and foremost, AMC stock was up 1.22% today. Pretty good day overall. Volume about 9.2 million shares. So volume's definitely on the lower side, which is good. If you see low volume and the stock going higher, that's typically good, right? That's what you want to see, because when volume comes back into the stock, when you start to get 15, 20, 30 million shares trading hands every single day, and you really get a volume spike, then usually that's a pretty good sign that when that volume comes in, you can just be even more green, right? And you can get into an even larger rally. The big level specifically that the AMC bulls are going to pay attention to is that 50-day moving average. A break above $4.68 per share is going to be fantastic news. That's about 13 cents higher than where we currently are. Here on the day today, you actually hit that at one point. That was in the beginning part of the day. $6 or $4.69 per share was the high. So you were technically about 1 cent higher than your 50-day moving average. That's good, but you didn't close there, right? So you definitely want to see a close above that level. It looks like we got rejected there. Question is, do we continue to get rejected there? Or do we, break above that, maybe even coming tomorrow? I think that's the real question that we need to be asking ourselves, and that's, the most important thing to know, right? So there is that, and that's really for the bulls. Now, for the bulls as well, the situation actually looks pretty favorable for AMC overall. This week, you got about 21,000 calls currently in the money, 40,000 calls out the money. In the money puts at about 3,500, out the money puts at about 23,000. So things look pretty good overall. You really can't complain with those numbers that you are seeing. Next week, there's going to be a lot of option activity as well. You got about 12,000 calls currently in the money, 242,000 calls out the money. In the money puts at about 27,000, out the money puts at about 112,000. So decent amount of option activity even this week, and especially for next week, that's for sure. And that can just add kind of fuel to the fire, if you will, for that upside or potential downside move. Now, let's focus briefly on what's going to be happening tomorrow in our markets. So today you had Jerome Powell. He testified in front of the Congress. It was a nothing burger. Nothing happened. He did not say any new information. Very much just kind of the same old from Powell, right? They're going to be data dependent. They're likely going to start reducing rates at some point later into this year, and they want to see a little bit more confidence that inflation is continuing to fall. That's the gist of basically what we heard from Powell. We didn't get new information. He did not talk about raising rates at all. He was grilled, a matter of fact, about cutting rates, that he should be cutting rates by a couple different individuals. One woman in particular said, "These rates are too damn high. You need to cut the rates." And I found that interesting. It kind of put Powell on edge a little bit when she said that. But he did defend why rates are where they are. But nonetheless, we did not get new information. Now, coming out tomorrow morning, 8:30 in the morning, we will get initial jobless claims. Keep in mind, this is a leading indicator to the labor market in particular. If you start to get weeks where the initial jobless claims start to fall or start to rise quite a bit, that would be an indication of maybe some weaker labor market conditions that are coming. But it's nothing too crazy will be happening tomorrow. We will get tomorrow. Let's see. the balance of trade out of Canada, 8:30 in the morning as well. That's not expected to be much. Fed Jerome Powell will speak again at 10 o'clock in the morning. Again, if we were going to get new information, it likely would have been today. So tomorrow, you're probably not going to get anything. It's probably not even going to be notable. I'm probably not even going to watch it, to be honest. 8:45 in the morning, you are going to get the ECB press conference. So that could also be important for Europe. And Europe and the US, they can tend to have effects on each other. Now, coming out later in the day tomorrow, you will get consumer credit change coming out at 3 p.m., as well as some bond auctions. So yeah, there's not going to be much of anything as far as data coming out tomorrow that will move our markets. Again, can Powell move our markets? Of course, if he says something new. But typically, if he's going to give us new information, he usually will do that on the first day of testimony, not the second day. So I think that event risk is mostly behind us. And, Powell could have gave us drastic new information, drastic new news that could have been, pretty negative for our markets. And he did not do so. I think if we continue to see inflation coming in hot, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Now, on Friday, you're going to have your non-farm payroll report. That's going to be very, very big. But it's actually earnings that I'm talking about here. And a lot of people have clocked out as far as earnings season. They're like, earnings season is over with. At least, stocks that can move the broader markets like Magnificent Seven stocks, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla. They've all reported earnings. But in fact, yeah, tomorrow's going to be insane. Today and after hours, you have Victoria's Secret, Triple Point, Inovio, Honest, Infera, OneSpan. Not very many, companies in general, but none that are important. Tomorrow pre-market, you have Kroger, Big Lots, Burlington, American Eagle Outfitters, BJ's. That's a crazy name. Billy Buy, PaySafe, Sienna, ABM, and Bitfarms. It's actually tomorrow and after hours. Tomorrow and after hours, you will get Broadcom, Costco, Marvell, MongoDB, DocuSign, Samsara, Petrobras, and Gap. Now, your two stocks, really three stocks that are notable here. Broadcom, Costco, Marvell. Now, Broadcom is the one that I'm a little more concerned about, just because over the past couple of days, Broadcom has really not been doing much of anything, right? Compared to, some of your other, AI stocks, like Nvidia is up 4% today. Broadcom is up 1.4%. ARM, that's likely going to implode coming next week, is up 2.5% today, 2.6%. Broadcom, up 1.3%. You're seeing a lot of weakness over the past couple of days in Broadcom. And this really has me on edge for their earnings. Sometimes if a stock's going to report not the greatest earnings, not the greatest numbers or guidance, sometimes ahead of that, they will actually, sell off, right? Or not perform as well as the broader markets, considering Broadcom has went crazy from 2021 highs of about $650 or so, currently trading at almost $1,400. There's definitely going to be some high expectations as you're basically sitting at all-time highs. Now, why I think this is important is because if you do get your AI stocks, either Marvell or Broadcom, that do not do well tomorrow and after hours, that's a massive problem for the entire AI trade, for Nvidia, for ARM, for AMD, for SMCI. That's a problem for all of them because the algos, they're the ones that really do the trading, right? Let's be honest, about 95% of trading volumes that you see are algorithmically, driven. So if you do start to see Broadcom maybe sell off after earnings or Marvell, it's going to negatively affect the rest of them, which could bring down the markets. Mix in there next Tuesday, you're going to have the SoftBank ARM lockup expiration on March 12th on Tuesday. Yeah, you're going to be looking at a maybe not so great situation. Okay. So that's something I think is a very big catalyst tomorrow and after hours that you need to know. That is going to be huge. And we'll talk about it beforehand. Again, they report earnings tomorrow and after hours. So we'll have plenty of time to go over that with you guys and to to really break that down in a way so everyone can easily understand. But yeah, definitely a situation we have on our hands tomorrow in after hours. Now, the percent of stocks above their 50-day moving average today, about 3% of stocks broke above their 50-day moving average today. You're now at 54.63% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. Now, in fact, you're actually not seeing that much green out there, surprisingly. Microsoft's down about 1/3 of 1%. Apple's down about 1%. Tesla's down 2.3%. Again, your AI stocks are really dominating here, leading the way higher for the markets. And I guess some small cap stocks are doing okay, but by and large, you're not really seeing much activity at all in the average stock, which I find that interesting because 10-year treasury yields have been falling the last 2 days, right? Yesterday, 10-year treasury yields fell almost 10 basis points. Today, 10-year treasury yields are down about 3.5 basis points, down to 4.10%, 4.1%. So you've seen actually yields coming down, and that really is not translating into a more broader market, which is maybe not so great. I think we're kind of due for a pullback regardless, and maybe this is the start of what could be a larger kind of downturn in our markets. You can make the argument that we've been due for a correction for a long time. Now, for everyone that is looking ahead to Friday, on Friday, we're going to be reacting to Broadcom, Marvel, Costco earnings that take place Thursday and after hours. So you're going to see that effect on the markets coming on Friday. You're also going to get the non-farm payroll number at 8:30 in the morning on Friday, and the unemployment rate that will be coming out at 8:30 in the morning. Non-farms are currently expected around 200,000 job ads on Friday. The unemployment rate expected to stay at about 3.7%. So definitely if we, come in higher than that or lower than that, that's going to have some implications for stocks. That's for sure. So something we'll be watching pretty closely. Now, if we take a look at StockTwits here, AMC is neutral at 53 for sentiment. Yesterday it was at 56. Message volume today is at 50. That is the same as yesterday, categorized as normal. And the participation ratio is at 54, which is also considered normal and roughly where we have been at for the last couple of weeks or so. Now, before we go ahead and wrap up this video, let you guys get on with your day. Take a look at the option activity from hedge funds and institutions today. You've seen 4 orders totaling $57,000 with a positive order value of 100%. You can see March 22nd $5 call for 16,000, March 22nd $5 call for 12,000, a March 22nd 450 call for 12,000, and a September 20th $5 call for about $18,000. Now, these $5 calls, it's a break even of about $5.20 per share because they're paying 20 cents a piece. I don't know if they're forecasting we get some kind of, news between now and March 22nd, but March 22nd is not that far away. If we did get some news, well, that would be good. And maybe Adam Aaron, just maybe he's seen one of these videos. He's recognized that he needs to stop diluting shareholders because, that's the only thing you can do to get AMC stock higher. If you don't get AMC stock higher, you're looking at Chapter 11 bankruptcy at some point down the line. And that's not exactly, I would imagine, what he wants his legacy to look like. Now, short interest percentage of free float, 12.97%. So that's continuing to get higher. At one point, you were at 7%. So that's definitely getting better there. And if you take a look at the dollar amount that's currently sold short, you got about $152.91 million in short positions. Days to cover, 2.12. 33.98 million shares that are currently sold short. Shares out on loan, 44.71 million. Cost to borrow, 1.07%. Utilization of about 66 out of 100. And your short score is sitting at 67.5 out of 100. That has actually went from about 49 back in mid-December of 2023 to where you are now, almost a 20-point improvement there, which I find interesting. The stock a little bit more squeezy or squeezable now than it was then. So there is that. Again, you do have the New York Community Bank situation. The bank is seeking a cash infusion. The stock is down 40%. looks like is halted for the ending part of the day. Foot Locker plunged 30%. Private payrolls rose by 140,000 in February, less than expected, according to the ADP. Private companies added 140,000 positions for the month, an increase from the upwardly revised 111,000 in January, but a bit below the Dow Jones estimate for 150,000 ADP reported. Leisure and hospitality led with 41,000 new jobs. Construction added 28,000, and trade, transportation, and utilities contributed 24,000. ADP's report precedes the Labor Department's more closely watched non-farm payrolls release, which happens on Friday. So a little bit of I guess you would say good news today, depending on what you consider the estimate for this actually was. I thought the estimate was a little bit lower, around 120,000. But, according to the Dow Jones, 150,000 was the number they were expecting. So that's kind of what the markets rolled with today. But nonetheless, looks like a little bit of good news, maybe partially the reason why markets did okay today. Again, if you don't get above that 50-day moving average for AMC here over the next couple of days, you're going to have a bit of a problem on your hands. And if you start to break down lower, $4 per share looks like a solid level of support that I would be targeting. With that being said, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.